Hello everyone. Today we will start the new chapter, that is system of particles and rotational motion. Now up to sixth chapter we have studied that all the forces, all the conditions are applicable to point particle. So we have considered all the objects as particles there. So particles, or you can say point objects. So point object means if the size of the object is comparatively very less as compared to the distance covered by them, then it is called as point object. But in real life we all come across the objects which have finite size. So these finite size objects are called as extended bodies, right? And extended bodies, if we want to study those extended bodies, we need to understand them and consider them as a rigid body. Because practically we don't have any rigid body. Ideally we can consider these as rigid bodies. In rigid bodies, the difference, the separation between the two particles remains same, right? And we consider that it is not deformed under the effect of any forces. So we say that ideally a rigid body exists, but in many cases the problems can be solved by considering the bodies as rigid bodies, right? So here the first important points whichever we have discussed here is that previous chapters we have discussed the conditions using point or particle objects, right? And in real life we have finite size objects, and these finite size objects are called as extended bodies. So extended bodies are considered here as rigid bodies. And what are rigid bodies? The rigid bodies are the bodies where the separation between any two particles of that body remains fixed. Separation between any two particles is fixed. So perfectly rigid body is an ideal case. So this is an ideal case, but practically we ignore the deformation of the body in many cases, right? So here in this chapter we will deal with the bodies which we come across in our life and how their motion can be understood. Now we know that rigid body means real body which has a finite size. So whatever laws we have studied till chapter 6, these we will apply to the rigid body here also, but we will introduce a concept of center of mass. So what is the concept of center of mass? We'll take in the next video separately. For here I'll just mention it that it is considered as an imaginary point where the whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. So we can say imaginary point where whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. Right? So we will study about this later on in the next video, but in this chapter we'll consider how these rigid bodies undergo motion and what type of motions are considered for rigid bodies. So we will first rub the board and move on to next slide. We'll take all the three types of motion of rigid body and I'll show that in a comparative chart, right? So I'll divide the board into three parts. And pure translational, I'll explain that. Then we have rotational motion. And then we have rolling motion. So what is pure translational motion? Let's consider the motion of body in two ways. One way, this body is moving horizontally on this surface. Second way, this body is undergoing motion somehow and then again comes back here. I'll tell you how this body is moving. Suppose this is our body and this body is undergoing this motion and then again comes back here. So at any point in between its final and the initial point, somewhere suppose it was here, somewhere suppose it was here, right? So I'm just showing here that here I'll show you why. I'll tell you why I have considered these two diagrams like this. And third motion, we can consider the body to be sliding down an inclined plane. In all these three cases, if you look at any two particles, suppose this is particle A, this is particle B, right? So when this body reaches a new position, this is the new position. So in this new position, since this is sliding on a horizontal surface, so if we look at this, these 2 points once again, let's mark the new points. So these are same points. So I can say that these are A dash, B dash. So when this body is moving like this, the separation between these points does not change because this is a rigid body. So and second thing, this line joining these 2 points and this line joining these 2 points is always parallel. So I can say that AB is parallel to A dash, B dash at every point of its motion. Second thing, the line joining the same point for initial and the final position, that is B, B dash, and this point also, A dash, these will also be parallel, right? And in this case, what is happening? If this is your point A, this is your point B, the same points I'm marking here as A dash, B dash. In this case, we know that this will always be parallel. In this case, if this is AB is parallel to A dash, B dash, right? Called as curvilinear motion. So this is also a type of translational motion. This is called as rectilinear motion. So this is rectilinear motion. So this is not given in detail in your NCERT. Just I wanted to tell you the difference between the two, right? So here this was just a linear motion. So this is called as rectilinear motion. Here it has traveled some curvy paths also. But since the AB is parallel to A dash B dash at every point, so this is considered curvilinear motion. So these are the two cases. Third case, if we consider A, B points, A, B points. Now the final position suppose here is this. So again we consider these points A dash, B dash. These will be parallel to each other, and also one very important point in all these things is that the velocity of all the particles are equal. So you can say important point here is velocity of all the particles is same. In what? In pure translational motion, right? So this is very important thing here. Now in this case, if I'm talking about rotation, let's consider this. So what we have done here is we have pivoted this body, rigid body, along a central line, and then it is rotating about that particular line. So this kind of motion, when the body is fixed about a line, then whatever motion is possible, that motion is called as rotational motion. So here a body is fixed about a line which is called as axis of rotation, right? Then it undergoes rotational motion. So let's check it. Let's say this is the body, right? And we have fixed it about this line. So when it is rotating about this line, as I just showed the globe, so what will happen? Suppose I consider any 2 points. Suppose this is your point A, this is your any point B. So when it is rotating, what will happen? Every point on this body will also rotate. What kind of path will it cover? Suppose I consider a point here. So when this body is rotating, so this particle at this point, what kind of path it is covering? It is covering a circular path. So I can show the circular path of all these particles here. So that means right. So what is important here is, very important thing is all particles move in a circle, right? So if we talk about the velocities of these particles, we know the formula V is equal to R omega. So it depends on the radius, right? So if I am taking this as radius of A, so what will be the velocity of A? This will be radius of A into omega. Omega will be same for all the particles. Why and how? Let's again look at this. Suppose this is our globe. So whatever this C point, if I see the cross section of this globe, this will be what? This will be a circle, right? So at every point, if point, this is the cross section. So if I am taking this point as C, this as B, and this point as A. And this is the center. I'm taking the cross section. Cross section means I'm looking from the top view. So top view, this will be the axis which will pass from its center, about which this is rotating. So this will be the center of the circular paths which these particles are covering. So this will be the radius RA if I am looking at the cross section. This will be RB and this will be RC. Now when this is rotating, so when this is rotating, the rate of change of angle of every particle will be same. What does that mean? If it is rotating like this, rotating, so what will happen if suppose this is the new position of C particle, this is the position of new B particle, new position of B particle, and this is the position of particle A, new position of particle A. So this is particle, right? Slightly the diagram is messed up. So I look at this position, this will be angle, suppose theta. So this will also be theta and this will also be theta. So the rate of change of angle in a given time will be same. So rate of change of angle in a given time is called as angular velocity. So here very important is omega for all particles is same, but V is different, right? So this was about rotational motion when the axis is fixed. And let's take the last case where we are talking about a motion where suppose this is a solid sphere, right? Now this sphere is rolling down this incline and it is reaching this, reaching means it's passing through this place. So every time it is passing to next position, it is covering some linear distance also. So you can say that this is what? Translatory motion. And this is what? This is rotational motion. So what is rolling motion? Rolling motion is the sum of translational motion plus rotational motion. I hope the difference between the three motions of a rigid body is clear to all of you. That's all for now. Have a nice day.